Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Social Authority, the show where we tell you what to go out and do to be the expert in your category. And today we've got some special guests. We've got some lovely ladies with us. How are you, ladies? The ladies of the Alnu Design Company in Houston. And welcome, Lauren and Cassie. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having us.
I'm awesome. Having a good time. We were talking before we started to record about how there's a little bit of a trust recession on social media and just putting yourself on interviews, talking to people, making yourself available is going to be the competitive edge moving forward. And so I'm so glad you guys made time to be here with me today. Lauren, we've been friends for quite a few years, and you've recently joined up with Cassie because you do short-term rentals at the top of the game, top of the category. You've worked with a lot of people like Rob Ilt. And so explain why that was your target in real estate. Explain how that happened.
Yeah, so I was designing spaces by myself, for myself, found that I actually had quite a like for the interior design space. When I was a little girl, my dream career was actually to become an interior designer. I've taken like no true leap of that up until recently, right? I just had a knack for it and was pretty good at it. And so about a year ago, I met Cassie at a friend's mutual party. She was also in the short-term rental space, shaking and baking, doing some really cool stuff, and just really overall respected her and what she did. Saw a lot of myself in her. We built a friendship over the last couple of years, and as I've dabbled into different things, whether that be like buying, renting, managing, the interior design space of things was always where I thrived, right?
Mm-hmm.
So had an opportunity to come on board with the all new team this year. She has been rocking in this space for the last 4 years, specifically in interior design. So it just was like a line space, instead of dabbling in so many different things, have finally just narrowed down my focus to what I not only am good at, but like enjoy, have fun at, which is designing cool spaces and making people feel good in them. So that's where we're at.
100%. Yeah. So Cassie, explain how this whirlwind came together with Lauren for us here, because I know Lauren is a lot of energy. She's a ball of fire.
Yes. No, and I mean, that's what brought me in anyway. That's our personalities are kind of similar in that. So we meshed really well. But our other partner, who is more the lead design for us now, she and I were working together and we were doing short-term rentals. We were working directly with the management company. And basically how I started is I put a grass wall and a swing up in this Airbnb. I just had this idea, and this was years ago. And this manager found me and he was like, "Hey, do you need me to manage this property for you?" I was like, "Yeah, I don't really want to deal with that. I just went live and there's all these people booking. I have no idea how to do this. So you can take care of it." So then he starts managing my property and he sees that I was getting extremely high bookings in comparison to houses that he had that had amenities, but they just weren't really designed. And he was kind of shocked by it. And he was like, "Hey, do you mind coming and putting some interior design work in these Airbnbs that we have currently? Maybe they can get more bookings because we're so surprised that yours is doing so well." And so I did that for him. And that's really how it all got started with her and I. And we just started designing for this management company and totally turning his properties around. And these owners were making so much more income than they even thought that they could on these properties. And it's just because they had interior design that looked well. So we were doing that for a while. And then whenever I met Lauren, I had my own Airbnbs, but I was not connected into the space like Lauren was. And I knew that was really going to be beneficial to what we were doing. And she kind of came to me with this idea. She was like, "I know you already somewhat do this, but what do you think about, joining forces? We can get into the network of all these people that I know that are really looking for this type of work." Mm-hmm. And so we came together and it's been great. We've been banging out jobs ever since and doing them nationwide, which was new for us. So we've been doing that, which was really exciting. But that's how we got together, and it's been really great so far.
I love that. And like I was telling you guys, because I always chat with everybody before we come on the show just to get the little green room rant. And it's just like, as a brand, this early in the game, me having this conversation with you, this video will be documented, maybe won't even be the first or only time that we chat. And I think that a few years from now, your guys' ability to brand yourselves as women in this industry that are ready to design somebody's space, whether it's a short-term rental or whether it's a podcast studio like my place. I mean, there's so much opportunity now for making a space pop. And I think it's part of people's brands. I mean, this is also part of what we do, where if I shoot a video for you and it's just up against a white wall, this is my little goofy corner, my little sound booth corner, but I don't ever want to shoot a client up against some lame white wall. It doesn't look good. And I have a little setup that I showed you guys here that we use as well. But why is it important for people, as any entrepreneur in the game, to make sure that their brand pops? This goes into branding too, doesn't it?
For sure. And going to the podcast thing, me and my husband watch podcasts online pretty much every single day. And that is something that I notice immediately. I'm like, look at the trend on what backgrounds are going right now. Like, this is what people are looking at. I'm looking at the thumbnail part of it. I'm like, that one catches my eye. So the neon is really trendy right now. All of that stuff matters. And in the short-term rental space, it's the same thing. And that's what we base actually our design off of. Whenever we're doing someone's property, we're not just throwing together something that's random, arbitrary. We actually go and look at the comps and we're saying, okay, what is trending in this area, if there's anything? And what are we going to do differently, or how are we going to compare to them so that we make sure that our nightly rates are as comparable or even higher?
Yeah. That's super smart. And I think that as Airbnb continues to compete, it's not going anywhere. The doom and gloomers in any industry, I think they're always wrong because it's just too far to one side. I think that every space is getting more competitive. I mean, obviously, no one was making videos and podcasts like they are today 5 years ago. It's always going to get, as something becomes more popular, it's going to get more competitive. Airbnb 5 years ago, does this really work? We know it works. People are going to continue to book Airbnbs. It's just more competitive. And so I think if you're a business owner out there, someone like Lauren and Cassie, I mean, you need to have contacts in your back pocket for every single piece of what you're trying to fill in your business. I don't care if it's a tax strategist, if it's the short-term rental gals, if it's the video guy, if it's the business acquisitions guy, you got your apartment guy, you got your Grant Cardone. You have to have these different angles and opinions and views of the marketplace to be able to assess how you're going to go out and perform on the field. Yeah. And I think so many times people get into a tunnel and they only hang out with a certain group of people and they don't let any feedback in. And it's very important for people to, especially as time goes on and it's more competitive, be open to what's really working. And at Investor, he learned it and he was like, all right, well, you need to fix this, 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 and this too, because I want this result. Because I'm not getting this result any other way than if you design it.
Yeah, there's a big gap in like the education piece for sure. And having those clients who are those high income earners that just like don't understand that a short-term rental is such a powerful passive income play. So a lot of these calls that we'll get on, they have no idea how much money they can actually make by purchasing this property, designing it well. I mean, these are cash flowing cows. And so really it's our job to bridge that gap and help them understand that, hey, the American dream like used to be to own a home. It's not now only possible to own a home, but it's also possible to own multiple properties that make money, that for a lot of these guys, they're just looking to replace their W-2 income eventually and step out and spend more time with their family. So it's really special to be on these calls with investors initially and talk to them separate from business and just say like, hey, what are your goals?
Right.
What do you want? Like, do you want more time with your kids? Do you want a space that you can just host your relatives in once a year? Do you need a tax write-off? What is your goal with this property?
The tax play is so big. The tax play on these short-term rentals is crazy. And I didn't even know that until we post for a woman, Carlotta Thompson, and she runs the TSOA, Tax Strategists of America. And again, Talk to your accountant, talk to your legal representatives. That nothing I say is tax advice. But owning real estate properties is a proven wealth strategy. It's been around forever. A lot of wealthy people use different types of real estate strategies to get deductions. And with 100% bonus depreciation being back, there's all these different cost segregation plays and things that you can apply within the tax code legally. Go out there and make sure you're doing this the right way. But there's a lot of ways to use short-term rentals to really lower your tax liability in a major way.
Yep. Absolutely.
And so business owners and entrepreneurs that are out there and you're making all this active income, well, active income, you're going to have to pay tax on that unless you're parking some of that money in assets that can cash flow, that can give you those bridges of deductions to get you through and keep more money in the bank. And so this is
what our last client did.
It's such a great play.
Yeah. And they were like, our Airbnb is not really that great looking and we need to spend this cash before the end of the year. So him and his wife got on call with us and they're like, okay, we have this much. Can you do it? And we're like, yeah. So all that's gone and he didn't have to worry about it before January.
And going into the next year, now he's got a revitalized property with a spick and span looking design that he can market better, that he's going to feel more confident about. Some of this stuff is about confidence too.
For this busy season.
Yay. And so I think it's just important to look at all the different aspects of this, because who knows, when someone watches a podcast or listens to a show, they've got their one way of looking at it. And sometimes they pick up one or two things. How do we apply that to their core strategy? That's how they get the most out of service providers. And don't just be the pool guy, be the guy that lets the person know their gutter's banged up too at the same time. So if I'm a newbie investor, let's say I'm wholesaling houses, and I'm new. I've been doing it a few years. I've replaced my W-2. I know I got to buy and hold because, Robert Kiyosaki and Grant Cardone and everybody else told me. What are some strategies with someone like you guys that you can suggest, maybe areas that rent well, places that have a good rate of booking? Like, what am I looking at as far as buying a short-term rental compared to single family rental?
Surprisingly, the markets that attract a large amount of travelers a year, let's take like the PCB market, Florida market, for example. The emerald green waters and the white fine sand, people love it, right? It's one of the prettiest beaches in America. So you're going to naturally have travelers going to those markets in general. However, when you start looking at the Airbnbs in those markets, 10 to 12% of them are actually thoughtfully designed because an investor thinks we can just buy this property. It's going to already have a flow of travelers coming into it. We can charge the $500-$600 a night, and they're right. However, if you spend an additional amount of time understanding what you can add to that property, we just designed a home in PCB. With our design, her property will bring in about an extra $100,000 in bookings a year. It was already a short-term rental, bringing in around $250,000 in revenue, in booking revenue a year. With our design, she's expected to do around $350,000.
And right there, that's another down payment for another property.
It's a no-brainer market. You have the clientele coming in. No one's spending money on design because they just think, okay, people are coming anyways, right? Yes, great. But you can charge an additional $500 to $900 a night with a thoughtful design, right? Mm-hmm. So our advice is typically find markets that have demand, but don't have a large amount of properties that are doing it right from a design eye.
Yeah, I love that.
Right.
I love that.
They're not creating an experience, and that's what we're trying to go in and do. We're trying to make sure that that the outdoor space has amenities that nobody else has. The inside obviously is an experience and something that you'd want to take pictures in front of, just creating experience all the way around. So if there's a place that is performing, but everybody's house looks the same and is, I would say, pretty coastal bland, like they are in PCB, you can go in there and dominate an area just because you go in there with a thoughtful design in mind.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
smart. I mean, we talk about this all the time in social media video marketing, which is that's all we do is we post videos every day for people. And it's like you can do it for a while and have it look like dog crap. But after a while, your brand becomes
Yeah.
dog crap because that's what you're showing people, and
Yeah.
no one likes to hear that, but it's so true. You look at it as at an interior designer that touched up a space, three women that comes in, and you want to show that room side by side with, you get old Pat to throw a couple leather chairs and some stuff on the walls, is you're gonna beat me, and I think that people don't think of the customer experience enough. I think that was really important that you said that.
Yeah.
What is the experience that the customer receives when they come and they take their whole family? I mean, like I said, my 10-year anniversary, maybe it's a 10-year anniversary with someone and his wife, and they come in and the place is bland.
You can relate,
Right.
Kat.
And
It's the
they're
same thing. What Cassie said
Yeah.
about it being an experience, when people sit down in your chair and film with you, you're creating an experience. You're right. You
Yeah.
flip your camera around, that whole entire room that you're in is an experience. That's what we're going for. And we directly designed to touch on like our senses. This sounds like all scientific, and I'm not going to get into them, but truly, it's to hit different senses and create that experience that makes people want to enjoy their book there, tell people about it. They feel good being there.
That's the
Yeah.
whole
There's
game.
just there's just more of a science to it than just listing your property on Airbnb, right? So, I mean,
Oh
if
yeah.
Yeah.
you're a consumer and you're going through and you're scrolling through 100 houses in the area, you're going to stop on the ones that are eye-catching, that are doesn't look like they piece their property together on with Facebook Market furniture. And something else that we offer that we believe that the short-term rental market is going is not only are we're creating this space, but we're offering a branding package for the property.
Mm-hmm.
Because in those photos that we take, like we go and those are so intentionally done. We make sure that we have a team there the week of photos. We hire models to do lifestyle shots in the property. So when people are looking at it, it's like a hotel. It's like the photos that you would see at a hotel website instead of just a listing on Airbnb.
Right.
We make sure that we have like food set up, like we're really showing what you could do in the space, and then we create a property name so that it's just completely branded instead of just, oh, here's another scroll.
Right. And again, it's just so much more cutting edge, so much more innovative. You guys are going to continue to stand out more and more doing stuff like that. This all comes down to, in my opinion, your skill set, number one, of course, but your ability to be three heads instead of one, and your ability to be three women. Women know design better than anybody. Everybody knows that. And so it's just like any other thing in life. We've got women that run our entire financial system is run by women. We don't touch any of that. Let them tell us what that looks like and the graphs and everything, because they know.
I like
And
that.
so, yeah, we don't even we need to be focused on delivering value, booking people, podcasting with people. And the women are, hey, here's your report for today. Here's this for today. Here's that for today. They're on it because that's where their strength zone is in that organization. Sure. Like this whole thing, you're organizing a space to function. Women are very organizational. And men, we just throw our clothes on the floor. Okay, it goes in the hamper. I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. But the organization help. So if I'm an entrepreneur and I've got 10 different properties and I'm like, oh, short-term rentals, they just suck this year. Maybe it's just the way it's being marketed and the way that that whole space is unorganized. Explain to me how, if I walk in the front door, and I feel it, how that compares to how it shows up on Airbnb. So like you want to showcase how it feels to walk in the front door. I don't think a lot of people do that. They just take a picture.
Yeah, I think what you're trying to say is, when you're seeing that listing on Airbnb, you feel what it's like to like open that door and see the space and experience it for the first time. So we're really intentional with what photos even get taken, like Cassie said, at a photo shoot, because we
Right.
want those top photos that you see to you literally opening the door to the property and being like, whoa. this is what I'm going to experience when I'm there. We're really intentional with those photos, which goes back to the design, right? So like we are big on murals. We're big on curating spaces that are just like, wow, eye stopping, eye grabbing, that make you want to experience that space. Cause like Cassie said, you're scrolling through thousands and
Of
thousands of
course.
listings.
That's all
I don't know
people do
about
is
you.
scroll all day.
They just scroll, right? So we actually just launched a property here in Houston, and our cover photo for the listing is the models in the hot tub with the huge mural in the background. We did like the whole garage is the mural. The hot tub's right in front of the mural, and there's models in the hot tub. That is
I
the
love it.
main photo. And my team reached out and they were like, this is a little bit different of a listing photo than all the other ones. And I'm like, no, this is the direction. This is what's people are going to stop on this photo and click on the
Right.
rest of the listing and want to see it. Right.
Because
And
I'm
that's all
telling
we
you,
need.
as
We
a
just need them to
user,
click on.
as a user of Airbnb, I've only been on there a few times. I have used Airbnbs before, but like it's so
Yeah.
stale. Like
Yeah.
Craigslist. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just like Zillow or Realtor.com, or I mean, dude, my buddy runs what's it called? PropStream. I mean, I get into there. It's like the same interface.
Yeah.
But a lot of the stuff that you're talking about is marketing and branding plus the interior design. This is something that, and I love this because it's a fastball down the middle for me because I'm a marketer. I mean, I made free songs for Gary Vee and Grant Cardone when I was singing in bar corners making no money, and that's how I got discovered. And so people who in any way, shape, or form try to say marketing doesn't matter are just so far out of touch. Airbnb, I think, and again, this is my perspective, and I think if you guys execute on this, it could be extremely profitable. Your ability to sell yourself as an Airbnb design plus interior design company will absolutely obliterate everybody. Because then you can take pictures of your listings, pull them up on the screen and point at it. Hey, I'm Cassie and I'm Laura, and this listing of ours went viral. If you can make listings go viral, that's how you beat everybody. We literally make your listing viral. This is how we do it.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. We got the chicks in the hot tub. The lady at my office was like, really? And I was like, really? Right? Like, should I really
right now?
should I really send this video to Elena Cardone? Yes, send. Oh my gosh, this is so good. But like, I was like, I don't know. Is that okay? Should I do this? Yeah, dude. Do you want to sing on the stage or not?
Yeah, I mean, it's all tastefully done. It's just if you can show people that, oh, I can have my girls' weekend here, then that's what you should do. It should not just be a boring bedroom and bad lighting.
I think that you guys are onto something because no one's thinking like this. They want to play it safe. They're worried about what the brokerage is going to say. What if Aunt Cindy sees that? Dude, she's not your customer. And so you want to make sure that you play to your customer. I think what you guys are doing is great. So the listing, again, and this is just me, my outside opinion, but I feel like the listing, if you guys do, you're going to do a great job on the interior design anyway. But if you're able to beat everybody in the listing game too, that doubles your price. Triples your price, because now not only are we effective at doing this, staging it and getting good pictures, we're literally creating a listing that cannot be competed. You can't compete with us. And then you're able to sell yourself to certain people in each market. And then only certain people in every market can even work with you because you're only working with them. And then you build a nationwide database. Obviously, if I'm thinking as your marketing team, but I think you guys have something great here. With the internet, nothing that we're talking about even costs you any money really to do outside of the pictures.
Right.
I think that you guys are going to crush it. So Lauren, back to the technical stuff. So Airbnb short-term rental compared to single family. I think personally, because of holidays, foot traffic, people love to travel. They're always going to travel. The short-term rental, if it's marketed well and designed well, beats the single family home because you can only get X out of a single family home, but you can scale the short-term rental.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
Time and
Break
again,
that down for
tenfold.
the newbies, because even the MC knows, but give them the real estate insight on that one.
Are you asking to break down the numbers on a short-term rental versus a single family home? Or can
I
you
wouldn't even
rephrase?
go with the numbers. What I would say is you can market a short-term rental as one thing and increase its value, but a long-term rental, you're going to get X based on whatever the comps are regardless.
Understood.
Like you're only going to get $1,500 a month out of Jimmy Joe Blow in whatever area of Houston, no matter how nice it is.
Got it. Okay.
But
Got it.
Disney World, and you've got some pimped out Mickey and Minnie thing that everybody wants to go to, you're making way more money off the top. And that can grow as time goes on. Jimmy Joe Blow still only wants to pay $1,500 10 years later.
Understood.
Yeah, break that down, because I want to promote, you guys are elite. That you're not like everybody else. This isn't just Airbnbs. This is like elite space design.
Sure. One of the markets we focus on in our football markets. So anywhere that there's like college stadiums or large stadiums, these are killer markets that we advise investors to invest in, and here's why. Homes in these markets are typically pretty affordable, and they can rent these homes out to a bunch of college kids as a long-term rental, right? For let's say $2,500 a month. There's 4 bedrooms. The dudes split it 4 ways down the middle. Maybe over 5 years, you can increase that rent a couple $100s. Cool. Not that big of a deal. A live prime example is our friends were operating a home out here in College Station, had long-term tenants in it, 4 guys, took care of the home, cool, $2,500 a month. They just dumped a bunch of money into designing the space to operate as a short-term rental. That home on average brings in $8,000 to $10,000 per weekend, right? And just the 12 weekends that the home operates as a short-term rental, they've paid off their entire expenses for the year, mortgage, insurance, light bill, yada, yada, yada. And now the rest of the year, it's a cash flowing cow that they've actually been able to like keep the mom at home so that she can welcome her third child into this world. Like she's not working anymore.
That's amazing.
So that's the difference between taking a home that was doing just fine as a long-term rental, making money, cool, and going off the deep end, being bold, being courageous, operating it as a short-term rental and making 10x is an undershot of how much the increase is.
Yeah, that's way more. I like the strategy. And again, our tax strategist has been on it. I should probably own some short-term rentals. Maybe we can talk about that one day. But this is becoming more and more popular because of cost segregation and all these things that you can do. You can rent out holiday weekends, and a lot of times, and I know this from being a musician, that I could have worked at the House of Blues in San Diego when I lived in San Diego, or I could sing at the bar for 3 hours 4 or 5 nights a week and make way more than working 8 hours a day building systems at the House of Blues. So I didn't work at the House of Blues because I was making more money with my time, getting more for my time, renting my time, or whatever you want to call it. Anybody with an entrepreneurial mindset always looks at how am I going to compete in the marketplace and what is the upfront investment? And I think that we're seeing, and I love this topic because we're seeing that rentals, that whole long-term rental is the way to wealth thing, is really getting hit hard right now because of high interest rates and all these other things and the scalability of it. It's hard for me to get more than $1,500 or $1,600 or $2,500 or $4,500 or whatever the number is out of someone in the marketplace when the marketplace is the way that it is, unless I'm marketing a place to stay to a person that comes that's willing to pay a premium for it. It's the same thing with editor.
Right.
You could go get an editor right now to edit your stuff for like $600 a month, but our editor is going to crush that guy because he's better. And you could go get someone to post your social media stuff from the Philippines, but now someone in the Philippines has your password and you're being posted from South America, not Dallas. It's cheap. It's bad business. The real players are willing to invest in all the things that make their stuff the best. And I think that people are looking at this strategy and rethinking what their initial thought was, that it's a fad or that it's this or that it's that. And they're like, my long-term rentals are not cash flowing. The water heater just went out again. We're unable to scale this. And they're thinking about converting. So what about those people? What about the people that want to convert? How can we help them? Because I'm telling you, there'll be a lot of people that I could send a clip to that'd be like, yeah, man, I've thought about converting to short term because these long-term rentals aren't making me any money anymore. How do we help those people?
It's actually us taking the time to understand if we really can help them, Pat, because the reality is that not every market calls for a short-term rental that you're going to influx $100,000 into and design fees and furniture, etc. And so it's us having the client's best interest in mind, getting on that call with them, taking an hour of our time free of charge, understanding their market, understanding the investment amount that it's going to take to get that property to perform at the, top percent of the market, and helping them make an educated decision on if this is actually even a good play.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, we have some great to help with that, so that we can help them make that decision and make sure that the market that they're looking at makes sense. But it definitely, like you were saying, there's just not a huge profit margin whenever you're doing the long-term rentals, which I think that people know that, but it got even worse when the interest rates go up, because then the mortgages you're basically just covering the mortgages now. Sure. So you're right. If the water heater goes out, you have made no money. So there's just so much more. There's such a higher margin whenever you're doing the short-term rental that even if something like that did happen, you have the cash coming in.
Right. That's the thing. It's the cash flow. And I think that your guys' ability, again, the consulting aspect of what you do, the online advertising and branding that you're doing is something that, don't overlook that in the value. And I know you don't, but just again, as part of your marketing brain, keep me in the back of your head, because just because you're three people doesn't mean you're not three different things too. You're the interior design, you're the online branding, and you're the consulting organization that they come to say, what does this investment look like? What's the cash flow going to look like? Am I going to win here? No, we actually think that this other part of town might work better. Yes, we think you can win here, but you don't want to be there. You want to be way over here in this area, whatever that area is.
There's definitely markets that are doing what we're doing, right? Like there's places that people have caught on, and a lot of properties have those things. So maybe let's go and venture out on one of those really boring markets that could use that, but just hasn't thought of it yet. There's lots of them. Surprisingly, there's a lot of them.
Boring gets you paid. And that's, again, it's like, this is something that's exciting to you guys. I think for a lot of people, it's exciting for people to use a space that's built well, but not everybody has that cutting edge or killer instinct of what does it take to make it feel or to pop that way. That's a talent. That's a skill set. Everybody loves a great space that pops. Not everybody understands how it was designed or how it was built that way, or the color schemes or X, Y, or Z. That takes a real eye.
Right. And that's why you need us. It is a male dominated market. And I wouldn't say that the males are the best at doing that part. So we can kind of come in and be like, okay, this is what you need to do here. This is what we need to do to bring people in. They're on high level thinking, and we can come in here on that macro level thinking and making it right.
I love that, because dude, everybody needs a little bit of consulting now and again. And that little bit of a nudge can be what changes someone's trajectory forever. And that's where the referrals come from. Like I always say, it was the free stuff that I did for other people that got me all the clients to pay. And if I would have thought like that at 22 years old, I'd probably be a billionaire by now. But I think that's
there's
great.
A lot of people too that have that are thinking on a volume scale, which that was a huge part of our this Airbnb business. Get tons of properties, get tons of apartments, but they just, there's nothing to them. There's no detail. There's no other than just number, get more volume. So I think that when they can stop thinking like that for just a second and have someone come in and be like, these could perform so much better if you gave them attention. You were so on a course of like, get the numbers, get as many as you can, because that's going to bring the cash flow as numbers. But when they're being neglected, and then now there is competition looking way better, those properties are underperforming.
Yep. I think that a lot of people go through that. It's like when we started to do the marketing, we just wanted to work with anybody that had $1,000, right? And we can't operate like that anymore. And I think that one of the things people forget, especially in real estate, is such a heavy acquisition based game. You want to wholesale, you've got to have active income, so then you can buy and hold and X, Y, and Z. I understand the mentality behind it. I respect it. But you have to be careful of not fulfilling on the people that are paying you every month.
Yeah.
You still have to remember to run a business. And so this type of a model, right? This type of a model, I'd rather have 10 really great performing short form, or I say short form because we're short form video, short term rentals rather than 100 and I'm breaking the bank because something's breaking every single second of every day. Calling my phone. This was supposed to provide me freedom, and now my phone's going off 20 times a day. There's a lot of real estate investors living in that.
Don't want people wanting to go back to hotels because they're taken care of better there. That's not the goal, So
well, and an investor, it's an investor's nightmare, because the whole point of buying real estate investments for a lot of people I know, again, is that they want to have that passive income and not have their phone going off at Disney World. And they're not getting that. It's like, oh my gosh, I've put myself in a trap. So this could be the solution for a lot of those people. If you're going to dump them and put that money into making something great, and you make the money back anyway.
Yeah, it's definitely our job to bridge that education gap for them. And like Cassie said, it just takes someone stopping, slowing down for 15 minutes, us getting on the call with them and being brutally honest, transparent, and helping them understand why this is a better option. And that's something that brings us a lot of fulfillment and joy, because we've been there. I've operated properties personally that are underperforming, that I've shut down because I didn't design them and operate them the best from the beginning, right? And now just have to go back and redesign all over again, which is another influx of money. So I think we do have a competitive advantage in that we've been there, we've done it the incorrect way, we've learned. Let us save you that time and money through our story, through our, experiences, and just do it right the first time. So those calls with investors initially are very important and special to us, right? Because we want to operate transparently and excellence and help people get their time back and make the decision right from the jump.
Yeah, because it's an investment for you guys too.
All three of us have a background in property management, and then two of us have had Airbnb. So we are completely immersed in what they're needing. It's not just because we think about other things too, besides just the design part. We want to make sure that the property management is going to have a smooth, it's going to be working smooth for them too, so we keep all of that in mind.
Yeah, totally.
And that's something also, Pat, that we actually win a lot of clients on is we have a white glove service where not only will we design your home, set it up, give you the keys ready to go, we can manage your property for you on a day-to-day basis, so you don't have to touch it at all. Now, that's not the best fit for every client. Some clients do have, the wife is a stay-at-home mom with the 2 kids and can manage 1 to 2 properties herself. But if that's not the case, we can offer management on the back end. And so giving the client that peace of mind that we're designing something that on the back end, we directly are affected by, because we don't make money unless you make money as a property manager. Right, gives them that peace of mind that they are operating in our best interest. And so that was another special play for Cassie and I coming together, because I come from the property management space and short-term rentals, right? And so we just combined forces and now offer a full white glove service where, heck, we'll even help you find the property. We have a partner that we've teamed up with called Strike, and they help investors find profitable properties. That's a big part of the equation. Where do I find the home? What market should I look in? So we'll partner with them. We'll help them find the property. We'll design it and we'll manage it. We hold your hand throughout the whole entire process.
All new. No, I think it's great. I think it's fantastic because, again, a lot of people, they either have a place and they're going to dump it, or they're going to transition it, or they've got 10 places and they need to drop 3 and put that money into making these more money. And so there's a lot of plays here. The game has changed a lot since like the heyday of wholesaling everything in 2019 and 2020. All these hedge funds were coming in and buying everything there through COVID. And that died out. And now people are like, oh, I should have put some of that money into rentals. And then the people that did put money into rentals are like, these things aren't cash flowing. I should have done short-term rentals. And so there's this whole new play of how do I fix this or do I sell it? There's a lot moving in real estate. People always are like, oh, real estate's dead. Real estate's not dead. You just have to pivot, and you have to be prepared for those pivots. I think you guys are right there with this whole thing. I'm super proud of both of you for doing this and teaming up. Lauren, it's always great to hear your technical expertise as well. I think that there's a lot of women that need to see you guys. I think there's a lot of investors that want to work with you guys. And I think that keep putting yourself out there. Make as much time as you possibly can to just get on calls like this and have conversations with people, because it's stuff that lives forever. And it gives you the opportunity to share that with their entire audience. So I'll share this with everybody. Who knows? Maybe Aunt Elena needs a little design down there in Miami. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So
that's definitely something that we have.
Give my girls a call. Give my girls a call.
How we met? You know, like I was bowled at a conference with 4,000 people.
Oh man,
sat front row and like interacted with you, you know.
It was great.
Just having that boldness that lives in all of us is special.
It's the whole game. It's the whole game. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Social Authority Show with all new design. Hit up Lauren, hit up Cassie, chat with them, follow them, get involved with what they're doing, and make yourself the social authority in your category by making yourself available to get that next deal. It is free to post on social media. Do it every single day. And while you're at it, go follow my friends and like their stuff at the same time. We will see you on the next one.